Big Brother's Little Brother is the headline from the Portland Mercury. A freelance videographer plans to challenge the Portland Police Bureau in court after a cop confiscated his camera and cited him in apparent retaliation for videotaping the cop as he searched a suspect in the streets of downtown Portland. Joe, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks, Alex.
Okay, so this is an interesting story. Just to brief the audience, you were filming some police downtown. We're actually going to cue the video now and take a look at it. You were filming some police downtown that were searching some suspected drug dealers. And you were filming, and subsequently, you had your camera taken. Tell us the story.
Yeah, basically, Alex, it looked kind of odd how the police officer was following these guys. It didn't look a typical, like a crime had been committed. So I took out my camera and just started filming from 20, 30 yards away. And it looked like a shakedown. It looked like they were looking for maybe a warrant or find something obvious. Whether I thwarted the search, or whether I thwarted that, or whether there was nothing there to begin with, they ended up letting the guys go, and they focused on me and accused me of illegally capturing conversation.
I noticed at one point, which we're going to see in a little bit, the officer, in just a couple minutes, pushes them by saying something along the lines of, "You're standing too close to me," so therefore the police officer steps closer to him and pushes him.
At this point, Alex, he knows that we're filming.
I have no reason why he's stopping. Thank you for filming.
Yo asking me for my ID, you don't have no reason. You come over there, I don't even know.
We see backup showing up too within 1 minute. He states differently in his report, which is interesting.
I'll show you mine. I have the
I see that.
More acknowledgement that they know they're being filmed.
No. I'm not gonna come with the lady.
Now watch the police officer's behavior at this point on.
No, because it's harassment. No, it's harassment.
You know, back up because they can do it. Get away with it. You know, just back up.
He moves back.
So this is justification, first of all, for those watching, to film when you see something like this take place and someone get pushed. And that's the issue that we're discussing tonight, the right to film.
Oh my God.
In the report, Alex, they say that he was belligerent and aggressive. It's only when he's being accused of being a drug dealer and been pushed and all these accusations to search him that he becomes a little bit more vocal that he doesn't want to be, or he's innocent of that. He's not guilty of that.
By the way, did they find anything?
No. Search, but I don't really hear. I didn't see him ever being uncooperative, especially for being an innocent guy walking down the street. But it really wasn't like a crime was being committed, in my eyes.
Is that he seems to go to his car and make a call, and it looks like he may have been checking on the ordinance. Can I actually talk to this cameraman or take his camera? And in just a little bit, he comes actually up to you and asks you if you're recording both audio and video.
Yes. Alex, I don't know, he spends about 30 seconds in the car, and I don't know how quick he could get information like that. So I don't know if he's really checking or not, but I'm thinking that maybe they stopped their search because they realized this is being filmed, and if we continue this, we may have a record of an illegal search going on.
This guy here, whether guilty or not, just as a side point, he talks way too much. Just for some people to observe for the future when interacting with the police. He's giving them lots of information. He's extremely defensive, and he's giving the police officer on the right exactly what he wants, to see a little bit of fear. Now, if he has nothing on him, he shouldn't worry about anything, but he's very, it's just not behavior you want to exhibit, to come down to that level when you're almost begging for your escape. And that's, I think, part of the conditioning.
What would have been nice to see is the first man hold up to his rights and say, no, you can't search me. I don't give up my rights. And am I free to go? Are you detaining me? He should have maybe asked that, and this whole thing would have probably ended. The officer says that I was interfering, and I don't see how I interfered at all in any of this.
Nope. Right about now, he steps slightly to the left to get out of frame, have a little bit of protection. I think he is definitely concerned about the fact that he was on camera pushing someone, and that's what started all of this. Probably if that didn't happen, this wouldn't have happened. You were not at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Or maybe the right place.
Or the right place at the right time, depending on how you want to look at it. Now, at this point, this is where I thought maybe he was checking on it, where someone else comes up and verbalizes something to him. And what do you think was taking place at this point?
I kind of think that the big guy said he had a little man syndrome, and he laughs. And that's the only time I've seen that officer laugh. He's pretty serious the whole time.
Is that on audio?
Yeah, it's video. It's audio, video.
It's recording video also?
Yeah.
And sound?
Yeah, video.
Okay, you need to hand me your camera.
How come?
You need to hand me your camera.
Okay.
Yeah, filming stuff all over town. You filmed the walkouts.
I filmed a lot of stuff, Alex. I filmed you out when you're bullhorning. I filmed peace protest, walkouts. I've been down to City Hall filming stuff, homeless issues, immigrant issues. I've been to Powell's Books, refugees, journalists from Iraq. And typically everywhere I show up, there's no corporate media. And that's what brings me out. That's what made me get my camera and start showing up to these important things where there is no corporate media giving any kind of news to these really important things. So that's what's motivated me. Right now, the Mercury article kind of has me framed as a cop watcher, and it's a serious peace and justice issue that I'm concerned about, but I'm covering the whole peace movement and the whole protest movement, too, from the serious pissed-off grannies to school kids, you know, in peace. But I am concerned about police activity and justice and how they, and police accountability, which is a hot topic in Portland right now with the IPR and videographers getting attacked by the police, not attacked physically, but cameras confiscated, even attacked physically. I heard of a guy getting beanbagged and tasered because he wouldn't give his camera up. You know, Alex, by them taking my camera and putting this little in a ticket, and the ticket can be serious on the far end, a year in jail possibly, I think that's an extreme case of probably somebody really violating the wiretap law, the illegally obtaining communication. They're putting a lot of fear into people, and if I wasn't, I'm not going to be fearful of this. I'm going to still maintain my freedom to document and film as a journalist, independent journalist, and but I can see how this would work against people. You might just go home and say, I'm not going to do that again, and that's scary. That scares me more than me doing some time in jail, that people will be afraid to say what the police are doing to people. My video shows, if you look at the police report, there's all kinds of contradictions. He says he couldn't step back because the trolley was there. My video shows the trolley had nothing to do with him stepping back. He says he had no police coverage. He was dealing with 5 people. All of a sudden, I became a suspect. And he had no backup. When the video shows within a minute, he had backup. There's lots of contradictions, and that's the very reason I think this is important. That I've also, my video was used once at Senator Smith's office, where protesters came up to talk to our senator. They weren't allowed into the World Trade Center building here in Portland, and that was videotaped. Later on in court, it showed. My tape showed what the police account was, what the security card account was different from what the video showed. Very important case, and we won it based on what my video showed.
Well, Joe, I want to thank you for coming on. Real briefly,
thank you.
Tell us where we go from here. You have a court date, the 22nd of April.
22nd. I'm hoping it gets dropped, but if it does get dropped, there's still an issue that needs to be resolved. And the public and citizens, we need to be able to film our police, film in public, and journalists should not be scared or intimidated. I intend to keep my camera out. I got a backup camera, and I'm looking real positively forward.
Well, you've got an independent TV show that covered it, this one. You have now an independent paper that's covered it, the Mercury, and an independent radio station that's covered it, being cable.
Yes.
Anything mainstream.
You know what? They're lagging way behind. I got an email from KGW, and I heard through a good lawyer I have that the Oregonian's interested in doing sort of a story on videographers in Portland. But they're coming in on the back end. Mm-hmm. We're already out in the front. We're already covering it.
Yeah.
We're there.
We're in a whole different universe.
Yes.
Well,
thank you for what you're doing, Alex.
Thank you, and we'll see you on the streets again in our next bullhorning attack.
And I'll be there.
All right.
Okay.